right now on 5 on your side at 10.
The price hike on critical health supplies. One group fears tampons are becoming luxuries. Tonight in our Making Ends Meet report.
A delightful Thursday is on the way across the bi-state region, but the rain chances are increasing as we head into the weekend, when you'll need to have that rain gear ready.
And our top story tonight, a SWAT officer kills a man during a standoff.
He charged one of the officers while he was armed with a knife, and they end up shooting him.
Why a community activist says his death could have been prevented. Tonight, we're learning new details about the deadly end to an hours-long police standoff. Good evening. Thank you for being with us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. This happened this afternoon near Page and Hodemon in the West End neighborhood. Our Robert Townsend is live tonight from St. Louis Police Headquarters. Robert.
Mike, St. Louis police tell me one of their SWAT team officers shot the knife-wielding man in self-defense. Now a community activist insists the shooting could have been avoided.
A fugitive apprehension team was here to arrest.
St. Louis police say around 8:30 Wednesday morning, their officers first went to this apartment in the West End neighborhood to arrest a 61-year-old man. They tell us he was wanted for felony warrants, including resisting arrest, assault, and a weapons charge.
He refused to come out and barricaded himself in the apartment.
Police say after several attempts to get the man outside failed, the initial officers backed off and SWAT team officers were called in. Friends say the man lived at the apartment for several years and moved here from Sudan.
Some officers went through the window, some went in. This guy doesn't speak English, nor can he understand.
The SWAT team tried to negotiate with him in two languages, English and in Sudanese, because we have an officer that speaks Arabic. That failed.
Police say they tossed tear gas and beanbags inside the apartment, but the man did not surrender. They even rolled in surveillance robots.
He defeated the robots. He put him in a different room so he couldn't be surveilled.
Several hours later, the SWAT team stormed the first floor apartment. Police say the man suddenly lunged at a 7-year SWAT team officer with a knife and a pole. The officer shot the man in his chest, killing the father of 4.
It could have been avoided.
So says a community activist with the group Organization of Black Struggle.
I mean, looking out the window, seeing hundreds of police and SWAT teams with big guns, he was just concerned that they were going to kill him. So that's why he didn't come out.
So the last resort would have been deadly force after he charged the officers.
Now, police tell us the SWAT team officer wore a body camera at the time. Investigators will review that video. They also tell us none of the officers were hurt. Live downtown, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Developing tonight in Memphis, a teenager who went on a shooting spree across the city is now in police custody. Within the last hour, police say 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly was arrested. They say he drove around Memphis today, shooting at multiple people and recording it on Facebook Live. At least 3 people were hurt in the shootings. Police had issued a shelter-in-place alert. Tonight's Memphis Redbirds game, that's the Cardinals' AAA affiliate, was cut short as a precaution.
Tonight, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration is warning Americans of brightly colored pills that look like candy and can provide a deadly dose of fentanyl. Pepper Baker joins us now in studio with the urgent push to raise awareness. Pepper?
Mike, that's right. Unfortunately, making addictive substances look like candy isn't anything new, with fentanyl being a leading cause of the rising overdoses in our country and in the St. Louis region. This is alarming. Everyone needs to be aware of the new ways drug traffickers are trying to target you.
I don't know how I could live with myself if I lost my son to a drug overdose, especially with what I do for a living. It's very scary.
18 years with the Drug Enforcement Administration, St. Louis Regional Assistant Special Agent in Charge Colin Dickey takes on a new task with tracking rainbow fentanyl.
The criminal organizations that we investigate, including the New Generation Jalisco cartel and the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico, are mass producing and adding color to these substances for distribution in the United States to target children in the United States and young adults.
The National DEA issued a warning of an emerging trend of brightly colorful fentanyl and fentanyl pills in 18 states. Dickey says they've had about 5 seizures involving multiple colorful kilos in St. Louis since August.
We've seen instances in the St. Louis metro region area of purple and pink fentanyl powder. To my knowledge, no pills at this current time.
Jenny Armbruster educates young people about substance abuse through the local nonprofit called Prevent Ed.
When we think about substance use and we think about, how young people might be attracted to certain substances, this is not really anything new.
Anything to make a dollar, that is their bottom line. They don't care about the safety of the American public. All they care about is making money for their criminal enterprise.
Prevent Ed offers talking kits for parents to discuss the dangers of drugs with their children.
We always encourage that these conversations are early and often, and that we use these teachable moments to ask kids what's going on, what do they know, what do they have questions about.
With rainbow fentanyl trending upward, better to have those talks sooner rather than later.
We have seen it in the area, and we anticipate that it's going to increase in the area as well.
Dickey says drug overdoses and poisonings are the leading cause of death in Americans ages 18 to 45. The Centers for Disease Control reported more than 107,000 Americans died of drug overdoses last year, with the majority tracing back to synthetic opioids like fentanyl.
Thanks, Pepper. In an effort to combat the rise in car thefts, the city of Delwood has purchased anti-theft steering wheel clubs for residents. The mayor and board of aldermen agreed to allocate ARPA funds to buy the clubs. Residents can sign up at City Hall to receive 2 clubs per household, which will be distributed next week. The devices are available for all cars, not just Hyundais or Kias.
Promises of change coming from the owners of a downtown St. Louis loft building where police have responded numerous times.
The city is now giving owners of the Eli Walker Lofts a timeline to complete a number of security upgrades. Our Brent Solomon is live outside the lofts on Washington Avenue, where some of those changes have already been made.
That's right. I tell you what, when people who live here show up to their front door, they're greeted by signs telling them that their old keys won't work anymore. That's due to security upgrades, one of the many changes happening here right now. On any given day,
hi, Viola.
You'll find Nicole Reed sitting outside on Washington Avenue.
Yeah, I love it.
So much so, she wanted to live here. So she got a unit at the Eli Walker Lofts.
We lived there for 4 years when we moved here, and I had full plans on staying. And then
came the issues. Shootings, Airbnb parties, rowdy gatherings on the rooftop. Police say they were called out here 247 times since last August.
I saw the car caught fire in front of the Eli.
She also saw when a teenager was shot and killed in the lobby back in March.
I saw all the blood, everything. That's why I couldn't stay there.
She moved out 3 months ago. Flash forward to now. Owners have reached an agreement with the city of St. Louis to make changes right away. No trespassing signs within 2 weeks. 6 weeks to control access to elevators. The same to put up a security camera in front of the property.
More security on premises.
I pointed out all of the changes.
I think that's a great start.
One, though, that may find current residents skeptical.
It's not very likely to be making a long-term change.
Ask Sue Creasel, who owns a unit inside, why the property is finally doing this.
It's because of the voice of the residents that have complained about not feeling secure.
She will be a happy camper if the improvements become a permanent fixture, making this section of Washington Avenue akin to the reason she moved here in the first place.
Make it the quality that it was when we first got here.
All right, let's go ahead and get you back alive now. There was supposed to be a nuisance hearing today about all of the issues that have been happening here, but since both parties have agreed, the city and the owners here, to make those changes, there was no need for that meeting to happen. We're in live downtown St. Louis tonight. Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Now to a 5 on your side follow-up. Last Friday, we reported on a trash issue in the city's 3rd ward. Residents told us bulky items left in the dumpster were not picked up by city crews and people are illegally dumping trash in the alleyways. Today, 5 on Your Side learned that city crews came out yesterday and removed the bulk trash. Last week, the mayor's office told us the city will soon install more cameras in alleys considered problem areas in an effort to crack down on illegal dumping.
More testimony today in a high-profile murder-for-hire trial. Tim Norman, who starred in Welcome to Sweetie Pies, is accused of masterminding the murder of his nephew, Andre Montgomery Jr. Today, prosecutors said Norman took out a life insurance policy under his nephew's name 2 years before Montgomery was killed. Norman was the sole beneficiary. The defense argued Norman never personally applied for these policies. They say it was the insurance agent who already pled guilty in the case. The prosecution rebutted, saying it was Norman who had received the benefits. The judge said tomorrow's witness will take a lengthy amount of time. Our Justina Cornell will be in the courtroom and will bring us updates on air and on KSTK.com. Prosecutors have dropped some charges against a man accused of firing a gun after a Normandy High School football game. 42-year-old Carlton Gunn is no longer charged with felony and misdemeanor unlawful discharge of a firearm. The St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office tells 5 on Your Side those charges were dropped after reviewing ballistics evidence. Gunn is still charged with unlawful possession, resisting arrest, and tampering with evidence. No one was injured in the August 27th shooting.
Airport Road is getting a $5 million makeover. Improvements include new lanes, a bike lane, traffic signals, and new sidewalks with wheelchair ramps. $2 million in funding will come from the federal government's new infrastructure bill. People living nearby say the upgrades are long overdue, and it's not just a matter of safety. There's also civic pride.
I have the unique privilege, too, of being the state representative for Kinloch, where airplanes fly over. You can see the trash from space, right? You can see the rickety roads and the dips and dents in the roads from space. It's the first area that a lot of individuals who are flying into our state see.
Construction is expected to begin in the spring and be completed by the end of next year.
Young women unable to afford a crucial product for their personal health.
There's lots of data out there about girls that miss school because they don't have regular access to period supply.
The group tackling period insecurity, where to go if you need help, recognizing their sacrifice. First responders honored for going above the call of duty. The medal given to a fallen St. Louis County officer.
A cool, crisp Thursday across the bi-state area, and we're good through Friday night football. But this weather system, that has showers in our forecast for the weekend. We're tracking it next.
Funeral services were held today for our friend, mentor, and longtime St. Louis television anchor, Dick Ford. We gathered for a funeral mass at Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church in University City. Dick was remembered as a straight shooter who cared about delivering no-frills news to local viewers. He worked here at Channel 5 for 23 years, from the late 60s to the early 90s, before moving on to KTBI. He started as a reporter and later co-anchored a highly rated late news show with Karen Foss. Dick Ford passes away at the age of 88.
New data released today revealed how St. Louis residents spent their $500 stimulus money from the city. Mayor Tashara Jones says more than 9,000 households received the cash payments. While some criticize the slow rollout, city leaders say applications were processed in a 14-day average. The data shows that people put the money to good use on the basics, including Crystal Frazier, who's a full-time caregiver for her mom.
You just have to make it stretch and you make it last. And the last thing I wanted to do was to be able to look at my mom and have to put her in a facility. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to disappoint her.
The city will release a final report on its cash assistance program later this year. Mayor Jones says she's exploring ways to continue cash payments, admitting it would be hard to gain enough support for any statewide measures. Something called period insecurity is now being called a public health issue. A recent national study found nearly 2/3 of St. Louis high schoolers missed school because they didn't have access to the personal hygiene products.
They're also taxed as luxury items. As Michelle Lee reports, there are efforts to help with these products as they become less affordable.
People who menstruate will tell you they've got no choice in the matter, so it should be a human right and not a luxury. And thanks to a growing number of efforts, there are some ways that anyone can get products for free.
There's a lesser-known service at your public library, though it's no secret.
These are also where we keep our period supplies. I don't know that people realize that we have flow kits available at 6 of our branches.
The St. Louis County Library District is on the front lines of tackling period insecurity with the help of the St. Louis Area Diaper Bank and the Alliance for Period Supplies. They're giving out free flow kits, no questions asked, no registration needed.
There's lots of data out there about girls that miss school because they don't have regular access to period supplies, and so we want to make sure that girls can go to school.
In fact, St. Louis high schoolers were even the center of a national study showing 2/3 had missed class while on their period. There's also data about missed work and period insecurity. And more, in Missouri, period supplies are taxed as luxury items at more than 4% of product.
I always say anyone who's ever used a tampon knows it's no luxury.
And that hits harder for people who earn less money because that means a bigger portion of their income goes to period supplies. And let's not forget, there's been a tampon shortage in 2022. We found tampons for nearly $20 online and many sizes out of stock over the summer.
You know, this is not okay. I shouldn't be penalized because I'm having a period. You know, we talk about all sorts of other bodily functions. I don't know why we don't talk about periods.
They say it's about normalizing bodies and normalizing the ever-growing need, period.
Come to the desk and say you need a flow kit, you need period supplies, or you need diapers, and then our amazing employees at the desk help people when they come in.
There are 6 libraries in the county that supply these kits. The libraries also give out free diapers and free meals as well. Back to you.
To find the locations of these 6 libraries, text the word period to 314-425-5355.
Today, first responders and civilians in Missouri were awarded for acts that go beyond the call of duty. The Missouri Department of Public Safety gave out the Public Safety Medals to honor acts of bravery and heroism. For the first time, the state is awarding the Red, White, and Blue Heart Medal to first responders who were seriously injured or killed in the line of duty. That includes fallen St. Louis County officer Antonio Valentine.
Detective Valentine had devoted his entire adult life to public service. During more than 2 decades in the military, he had deployed to combat missions in Iraq and Kyrgyzstan. He had honorably served the St. Louis County Police Department for 14 years.
4 Eureka police officers were also awarded medals today, 2 for their role in rescuing a disabled woman who was trapped in a burning house. The other 2 honored for rescuing 2 children and ending the threat posed by a gunman.
Let's get to Scott. A couple of beautiful days on tap.
You know, wasn't it nice this afternoon? You could feel the humidity dropping off. You walk outside, and tonight temperatures are down into the 60s away from the city. You get into some of the outlying areas. Look at Warrenton and Chesterfield, already down to 63 degrees. Alton, 64. You're going to have spots overnight tonight that drop back into the 50s for lows. We have mainly clear skies across the region. We're still above 70 in St. Louis. Of course, the city always a little slower to cool off, but the drier air has made its way in here, and our dew points have dropped to about 60 degrees right now. 73 at Lambert, 84 was our top temperature today. No rain today. We're still sitting right at about 40 inches, just 1/100 of an inch shy of that. It's 9.5 inches above average. 50s away from town, low 60s in town. Tomorrow's like this morning. There'll be some patches of fog, especially in the river valleys, and then we'll zip that on out and sunshine abundantly tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will jump back into the 70s by 9 o'clock, and then we're in the mid-80s for highs. Can we talk about our pollen of the month? Ragweed. It's peaking this month into October, and these cool mornings, dry, warm afternoons, that is perfect for the ragweed pollen. About 1 in 5 of us has a reaction to ragweed pollen, and it travels about 400 miles. They found it 400 miles out in the ocean. The stuff is so light and it just travels easily by wind. Now we're quiet here weather-wise. Not the case as you look down here into the eastern Pacific. This is Kay. It is a hurricane. It is working its way northwest. It's not actually going to come ashore here on the Baja of California. Should stay offshore, 90-mile-per-hour winds now, but it will spread moisture into southern portions of California where it has been extremely hot. And not only are they dealing with the heat now, but there'll be a flood threat that increases. Plus, there's going going to be gusty winds that develop because of the differences in pressure with that system, and that could exacerbate the fire situation in the areas that don't see the rain a little farther north towards central California. We have a system or two out here in the Atlantic, actually 3 we're tracking. One that may impact Bermuda. It will impact Bermuda with at least tropical storm winds, maybe a little more. Earl has winds now of 100 miles per hour. Farther to the north, we have what's going on with Danielle, still a hurricane, and then watching this for development way out in the Atlantic. Closer to home, while we're quiet here, our weekend weather systems to the north and west. That will bring us the chance of showers and thunderstorms, which begins as we head into Saturday afternoon and into Saturday evening, coming in from the south and southwest. And that rain chance will continue right into Sunday. Most likely it's going to linger into Monday. With all the tropical activity in the Atlantic, that does tend to slow our weather systems down as they come through the middle part of the country. So we will cool temperatures off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Highs only in the 70s.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, baseball savant gave the Cardinals a 1.6% chance of winning the game in the 9th inning tonight. Well, sometimes the odds are wrong. Stick around, please.
Chasing 700 is sponsored by CarShield.
So Albert Pujols did not play tonight, but the Cardinals and Nationals played a thrilling game. Only in this baseball crazy town can a Wednesday night provide this kind of excitement between the Cardinals and the worst team in baseball. John Daly threw out the first pitch. I don't think those are baseball spikes. More on him in just a moment. Jordan Montgomery was really good. 6 2/3 innings, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and 1 run. Paul Goldschmidt is trying to win a game and a triple crown. This will help. Homer 35, RBI 108, Cards up 1-0 in the 4th inning. Let's go to the 8th inning. Luke Voigt from Lafayette, who was traded for Giovanni Gallegos, hit a bomb off Giovanni, 424 feet. The Nats led 5-1 in the 9th inning. The Cardinals chipped away, and Tommy Edman will deliver. It's a blast to left field. It will score 2. And the Cardinals win a heart-stopper, 6-5, and the magic number is down to 17. So the Cardinals put Dylan Carlson on the injured list with a thumb issue, and they've recalled Alec Burleson. And this man has been a stud in Memphis. 20 homers, a .331 average, and a .905 OPS. A lot of people have been asking, why has this taken so long? Well, there was a heat warning today in Colorado, but it might have been the Rockies' Michael Tolio setting off that alert. 3rd inning against the Brewers, he connects for a 2-run homer to go along with an RBI double. The Rockies beat the Brewers 8-4. The Brewers are 9.5 games back of the Cardinals, almost out of sight in that rearview mirror. So the Ascension Charity Classic begins Friday at Norwood Hills Country Club. And yes, he's back. He's back for more. The irrepressible John Daly, who's using former Cardinal Ryan Franklin as his caddy. I asked Daly about his great connection with the St. Louis fans today.
I don't know. I have no idea, but I love my fans. And I love this town because I've loved the Cardinals since I was 4 years old. I'm not one of those fans that switch. You know, it's always been the Dallas Cowboys, Razorbacks, Celtics in basketball, and the Cardinals in baseball, and it hasn't changed. And I get nervous watching them, you know, because I pull for them so hard.
The Blues were a part of today's Pro-Am. That's a good-looking swing from Colton Parayko. Here's another from the one and only Jordan Binnington. But the man on display all weekend will be the captain, Ryan O'Reilly, who's an 8 handicapper. He'll be in the celebrity match with 10,000 watching and competing against his coach, Craig Berube. Talk about pressure.
It's completely different than hockey. Hockey, you go out there, you read, react, and you just engage. Here, it's it's just sitting there, you and the ball, and you have to make your move, and it can be a little nerve-wracking, but it's gonna be fun. We're here to raise money and have a good time, give people some laughs, and hopefully I don't embarrass myself.
And you're against the Chiefs, so you can talk smack, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know exactly the layout, but I hope I'm against him and get in his head. But hopefully I don't get him too upset. I don't want to see that.
You can get in his head?
I don't think so, but I'll try. I'll try.
You know, this is a guy who won a Game 7, but believe me, on Saturday, he's going to have the nerves with everybody watching him.
He looks like he's got pretty good tempo.
Oh, very nice tempo. All three Blues players look good today.
All right, Frank, thanks.
Coming up, the name Bread Co. has become as iconic as toasted ravioli, while you may have to call some locations by that other name.
Former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama returned to the White House today for the unveiling of their official portraits. The bipartisan tradition dates back decades, but former President Trump did not invite the Obamas. Reportedly, that was a mutual decision. This was Michelle Obama's first visit to the White House since the family left in 2017.
Could a beloved St. Louis establishment lose its iconic name? The Riverfront Times released an article today claiming all St. Louis Bread Company stores will be renamed Panera Bread. 5 on Your Side reached out to the St. Louis-based company. Panera tells us all stores in St. Louis City and County will keep the original Bread Co. name, but everywhere else in the area will start having Panera Bread signs.
Well, there you have it. 5 on Your Side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Susan Sarandon is Jimmy's guest. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m.